I want to create an animation using HTML and CSS. I don't exactly have a clear idea how it will be, but I'm thinking something like it will have some circles like this, and let's say this is the center, and these circles will revolve around this center, but with different speeds. So it will start like this, and they will keep revolving but different speeds. Let's see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm creating a code sandbox. We'll try and not use JavaScript. Okay, we'll try to use only HTML and CSS, no JavaScript. I'm using React here, but this is only for creating the HTML elements. We'll try not to do any computations in the JavaScript. Okay, let's begin. Let me first set some background color here. Display background color green, just to see where we are, what's the height of this element. While we are at it, let me create a container div element. So class name, I'll give it as a container. Okay, and let's say hi. Okay, let's make this the full width and height of the window. So we'll go to style, we'll say all the elements that have dot container, set height to 100, viewport height, width to 100, viewport width, and let's remove margin and paddings. Margin 0, padding 0, box style, box sizing, content box sizing, border box. Let's go with border box. Okay, let's make this everywhere for all the elements. Star for all the elements. We want to make box sizing as border box. Okay, looks good. I think we don't need this, must be applied by default. Okay, now let's center this container. So display flex, place content center, place items center. Hope this works. Or is it place content, place position, place contents, display flex. So we have to for display flex, what we can do is align items center and justify content center. So now this is in the center, but there is another way using grid, display grid, and place content center. Only 2 lines of code instead of 3 lines. So let's go with this one. All right, now we have container which is centered. Now let's create some div elements which will be circles, and let's make them horizontal. Okay. So okay, let's start with creating number of circles using div elements. Div, let's give class name as circle. Okay, let's give it as 1 for now. So we'll need to create lots of such div elements. So I'll do one thing. I'll simply create a function which will render or create these elements instead of manually copy pasting. let's say I create a function called range. Okay, and it will create an array with n elements. Let's return array, and we'll populate that array for each. Perfect. Index I less than n, index plus plus array dot push index. Okay, so this will return n, let's say const n is equal to 5 for to begin with. Let's start with 5 circles. So we'll render 5 circles. How? Range n, which is 5 dot map v or index or I will get, and here we will render this. Okay, and inside we'll print I. So we have this 0 1 2 3 4. So far good. So we have rendered 5 div elements, but let's say we don't want to position it like this, right? We want them horizontally. So either what we can do, we can make this container as flex, and these will display one after another, but we want to rotate them as well, right? We want to rotate them from the center. So instead of changing the container, we will use something called as translate. First let's make them circular. So dot circle, let's say width is, let's go with 10 pixel, height as well 10 pixel, and radius, border radius 50% I believe, to make them circle. Let's set them background color red. Okay, I'm removing this background color. Yeah, they do look like circles. Let's increase the height and width 20. Okay, this will do. And let's position them on top of each other first. So position absolute. Okay, yes, they are on top of each other. Now what? Now we will display them horizontally. So what we can do for that is use property called transform, translate x, in x direction we want to translate by, let's say, 10 pixels. Does this work? Okay, so it definitely moved. So but now we want to translate each circle by different amount. So how to do that? Okay, so there are two ways. So we can use a CSS for loop for that. For variable I from 1 to, how many circles we have? 5. Okay, so from let me give container some color just to know where is the center. So let's say width, let me copy paste this. Okay, width is 5 pixel, background color green, so that we know where the container is, and relative to that container we'll translate these red circles. Well, before I forget, let me increase the size. Hope you are able to see it. Okay, for I 1 to 5, and here we'll say nth child, right? And here we'll give I, so it will select each children. Something's wrong. Maybe I have to use this syntax. Okay, all right. And after selecting that child, we'll translate it. So let me copy paste this. Transform translate x by how many pixel? Let's multiply 10 pixels by this value of I. Okay, it's definitely working. We just need to increase the pixels. Awesome. But something is weird. 4 0 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4. The fourth element is not translated. That is weird. That is weird. CSS nth child selector. Let's see if I'm doing this correct. Selects the second element of div siblings. I think, yeah, it's correct. Okay, maybe what it does is it doesn't include the number 5. It goes till only 4. So 1 2 3 4. It doesn't select 5. We can actually confirm that by inspecting this. So if I go here, you should be able to see yes, this property, 1 2 3 4, and there's no fifth. So let's make this as 6. 1 2 6. Okay, now each circle has shifted by 30 pixels. Okay, what's next? Now we can animate them. Okay, before that, this is one way how to shift all these circles to one side. But let's say I increase the number of circles from 5 to 10. Now what I need to do, I'll need to come here and again change this to 11, right? So that's the drawback of this method. The another way to achieve the same thing is called CSS variable. So here I pass the class name. Along with this, I can pass some variable. So if I use style and set some variable, circle index, right? So I'll set circle index as n plus 1. Sorry, I. So I'll say I plus 1. So it starts from 1 to 5 instead of 0 to 4. So far good. Let's go back to the styles, and now what we can do is use those variable circle index variable to transform this. So translate x 30 pixels into variable minus circle index, and since we are doing some operation, we need to put it into calc function. So I find this method better over this. Okay, so I'll go with this, but this can also work. All right, so far good. Now what? Now we want to rotate them. Okay, keeping this green dot as a center. So let's first try to do that manually. So along with this, we can put one more transformation called rotate, and let's give them 45 degree. Okay. Okay, now you see the elements are that the circles are rotated. If I remove the border radius, where is the border radius? Okay, so now you see that those elements are rotated, but they are rotated in place. We want them to rotate keeping this as the origin. Okay, so there's easy way to achieve that is first rotate them and then translate. Okay. So the order of these transformations matter. So we are first rotating them and then translating them. Okay. So yep. Now let's animate them. So what we'll do is, instead of rotating it by 45 degrees a constant value, we'll animate them. So we'll define an animation, keyframe revolve circles, okay, from and to. So far good. Revolve circles. In here we again need to copy paste this, transform, rotate from 0 degrees to 360 degrees, right? So that will make a complete one revolution. Okay, now we can remove this and use this animation. Name is revolve circle, duration let's say 10 second, timing function linear, delay 0 seconds, iteration count infinite, and direction what's direction? Normal, reverse. Let's ignore this. Let's see. Okay, working as expected. They're definitely revolving around this center. Cool. Now let's make them rotate or revolve with different speeds. So again we can use this variable. We have this circle index, right? So instead of making a 360 degree rotation, we'll make them revolve by this circle index. Okay, let's put calc here so that it doesn't cry. Let's refresh this. There we go. I think this will look better if we add more elements. Let's make it 10. Oh, nice. Let's do one more thing. You see the outermost element is circling very fast. Okay, the velocity is huge. The actual velocity. Okay, so the devices with low frame rates, if my screen has a low frame rate, that will not look fluent and continuous, right? So instead of the outermost circle or that element rotating at the top speed, we'll make this innermost circle, 0th element, rotate at the faster speed. So I think the simplest, easiest way would be to let me first increase the duration to 30 seconds, something like this, so that we know what's going on. And okay, so here I think I'll need to subtract this circle index. So what I gonna do is we have 10 circles, right? 10, yeah. So let's say once again calc 10 minus now if you see, the innermost circle is rotating faster, and why this 9 is stuck here? Okay, we will come back to this. But yeah, this definitely is working. But again, we have to pass this, we have to hard code this 10. So we'll pass this n here somewhere in the container. We can pass this style, like we pass this variable, no? Same way we can pass n as well. We'll simply call it n, and value is n again. Now to access that, I think we'll need to put all this circle container, circles class inside container, and we'll use this again, var minus minus n. Hope this works. Yeah, definitely working. Only thing is this ninth element, that is the last element, is not working. So it's selecting all the elements from 9 0. 10 minus 10 is 0. I think we'll need to do here plus 1. What happened? Plus 1. Yeah, now even 9 is moving. Awesome. But I think we'll need many more elements to actually see what's going on. Okay, so let's turn this back to circles. Maybe we'll make them closer instead of we'll decrease the gap between them. Where have we defined the gap? Oh, here it is. Let's, instead of hard coding this, let's define this as a variable. Is there a shortcut to do this? Rename symbol, change on occurrence, rename symbol. No. Let's define it here. Minus here itself, minus minus gap. Okay, let's go with 10 pixels, and let's use this variable. What happened? What did I do? Okay, using this we can even pass this variable from the JavaScript HTML. Okay, so here select all occurrence, find all references, change all occurrences, var minus minus gap. Done. Save. Let's see. Yeah, not bad. Now let's increase the number of elements to 20. Restart. Let's make them 40. Refresh. Wow, this, I'll need to reduce the animation speed. So once again we have hard coded the animation speed here. Instead, what we'll do is we'll define that as well, animation and animation speed. As you know what, I'm tired of defining the variables here, so what I'll do, I'll pass it from the JavaScript, so I don't need to come to this file at all. So where animation speed, and I'll pass both of these values here itself, style gap ten, will simply 10 do. Achha, I'll have to add pixel to it. I don't know how to do that. Let's say this pixels. Come on. Okay, animation speed as how many? 30. second. Yes. What's wrong? Why is it crying? Unexpected token. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Now here I can make the animation speed as 40. Even I can define this as a variable. Animation speed, gap, and animation speed. I'll put animation speed here and 40, 60, and gap as 10 pixels. Now I only need to change these values. Let me restart. Zoom out. Can I make this full screen? Project view. What is this? Current mode view. Project view. Let me open it in the new tab. I think I'll need to reduce the animation speed a little more. But this is definitely looking good. Wow, look at that. Wow. I'm already liking this. Okay, let me go back. Uh, let's make this 50 gap. Let's keep the gap as it is. Let's make the animation speed slower. Let's remove these numbers. These are creating noise. Now let's go back to this and refresh. Uh, let's look at that. Definitely enjoying this. Perfect. You know what? Let's not animate the first element. No? Let's not translate the first element. How to do that? Transform circle index. What if I pass this circle index as 0? Now I believe that now the center element will not rotate or even translate. What is that? Let me remove this background green color. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, definitely. It's nice. I can just keep looking at this. Wow, just look at that. Isn't this amazing? Oh. Oh, I guess that's it. Anything else we can do? Oh, they will form one single line again. Yeah, this is how it started. Awesome. Cool. I'll stop here.